Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video is a voice acting tutorial for those who are interested in such a thing. I will begin by saying that I am well aware that this video will make me look like a complete imbecile, because sometimes voice acting looks very silly. I will now go through 3 ingredients that are encompassed in the art of voice acting. The first, register control. In simple terms, this means how high or low your voice is. I will now go through each register one by one to demonstrate what I mean. The lowest, is the low register. The middle, is the middle register. And the upper, is the upper register. For the voices you pick, it will be in one of these registers. Unless you go in the whistle register, which is used in playing characters like the ring wraiths on Lord of the Rings. The lower register would be used in voices such as Barry White impressions. The middle register, for many if not most voices. The upper register is often used for very cartoony characters or children or women. The second key ingredient is accents. I am speaking at the moment in an English accent. This is my normal accent. I'm Australian. There are American accents that you can use, whether it be from Utah, California,
A Texan accent.
or New Zealand accent. Hey, bro. An Irish accent.
One from Scotland.
Something from Italy. And the list goes on. It is very, very important to master and understand the accent of the character that you're portraying. The third key ingredient is expression. This can come in many forms, one of which is emotion. Another can be contortion, meaning altering the state of your throat to mimic a certain flavor. Expression of all of these 3 ingredients is the very most important. You may very well have difficulty with register control and sometimes even have a hard time mimicking accents, but if you cannot emote or express the character that you're playing, don't. When I personally choose a voice for a character, I go through all of these steps. First, I decide where the register of the character will sit. Then, I decide on the accent that best suits the character's personality. And then, I find the expression. I'm going to now do some impressions of voices and show you how I came to those conclusions. For example, Elmo from Sesame Street.
Elmo loves voice acting!
I realize that this voice is in the upper register. It's also easy to see that the accent is very childish. When approaching the expression, I make sure to make everything excitable, thicken the vocal folds, and thicken the tongue to the back of the mouth.
Elmo loves voice acting!
If I was to do the very same voice and bring it to the middle register, it would sound something like this.
My name is Stitch. It's little, I know, and broken, but it's good. Yeah, still good.
Let us go in the opposite direction. We're going to go in the lower register. Our accent will be a Western Texan hick accent. And our expression will be very vulgar and have some grit to it.
You think you can come into my town and take my job? Well, I don't think you're ready to do such.
Becoming familiar with these 3 key ingredients may be one of the best steps that a beginning voice actor can take to expanding their range and abilities.
Why so serious?
Please don't hurt me.
I'm getting far too old for this.
What's he talking about? He's over the bloody fence!
I don't actually think you know what you're talking about.
I let him in understanding that he would behave himself.
You really think you're ready for this? I don't think you are. At last, my creation is complete.
It took a jab! It took a jab! Now, Skeeter, he ain't hurt nobody.
Oh my, there's mess everywhere. Please sit down.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
It's everywhere. Ah!
No, I've had enough. Just get out!
I'm ready for you to walk in now.
I don't think you're ready. Ready you are.
Before I finish, I would like to cover just a couple more things. The first is warm-ups and the second is equipment. Now, warm-ups. Before I ever even attempted voice acting, I had about a year's worth of singing lessons. It was from these singing lessons that I learned several important things, one of which is that your voice is a muscle and it needs to be properly taken care of. So if you're going to do some voice acting, sometimes voices can be very strenuous and extreme on a very very small muscle. Warm-ups can be a very helpful way of loosening the vocal folds. The reason you need to loosen them is because they're muscles and they need to be stretched just like any other muscle that you use regularly. A common warm-up that you can do is going up and down scales with or without a piano. Make a humming noise or a constant ah sound. Doing this for a couple of minutes before you start practicing or voice acting can really help and make a difference. Also, if you're trying to do deeper voices, it can be particularly hard if your voice is tight. There's a few things you can do to help warm up to get deeper. One way to do so is gradually go down in scales and keep doing so and then come back up. Another thing that you can do, which looks particularly silly, is dip your chin into your chest while humming and then slowly stretch your chin up until your neck is stretching. Doing so repeatedly will stretch these muscles and loosen them up. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was equipment. Voice acting itself is very fun, but it's even more fun when you get to voice a character and have it shown in other people's projects. It's really important that the quality of the sound that you record is just as good as the voice that you're using. If you have a fantastic voice acting range and expression, it's no use to anyone if you don't have any good equipment. Lucky for you, it's actually very easy and cheap to get good quality equipment. Go on eBay, look for studio quality microphones and condenser microphones. I often have people asking to do voices for my cartoons, and the very first thing that I look at is their demo reel. Make sure you have a demo reel. When you make a demo reel, make sure that it shows a full range of voices and expressions and accents. Make sure it's only the best quality and that the sound is crisp and clear. And unfortunately, if you're asking for work, you're going to get a lot of no's. But if you're persistent, you keep being polite and professional, someone will remember you and the quality of your work and you will continue to get jobs. I don't consider myself a professional voice actor at all, but I have a heck of a lot of fun with it, and I hope that any of the things that I have said might be helpful to someone out there. Thank you for watching and enjoy yourself.